Good day, everyone. You're welcome to the lesson of today. Today, we are considering the subject English language, and our topic is active and passive voice. You can see it on the screen. Before we continue, my name is Miss Adegoke. You are welcome to the lesson of today. As we start now, make sure you're with your writing materials, that is your book and your pen. And then while we are going through this learning process, if there's something you need to get clearly, you can pause the video and then you write down whatever you need to write and then you continue. Please take note of that. Once again, our topic is active and passive voice. You can see it on the screen. Yes, what is active voice and then what is passive voice? We are going to be considering all this shortly. Now, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to define active voice or active sentence, then define passive voice or passive sentence. Then you should be able to change active voice to passive voice and vice versa. Okay, you should be able to change active voice to passive voice. This vice versa means you should be able to also change passive to active. That's what it means. So you should be able to first of all define active voice and sentence, define passive voice and sentence, and then change active to passive voice and also passive to active voice. Okay. Now we come to the first part of this lesson, which is active voice. What is active voice? When we say active, active is from the word action. Yes, you can see that they are the same words but in different form. Active voice. When we talk about active voice, what does that mean? Listen attentively. Active means the subject is the doer of the action. Look at this keyword here. We have subject, then we have action. Another major one, doer. We have subject, we have doer, then we have action. What is the subject? The subject is the first noun or pronoun. First noun or pronoun in a sentence. You know what a noun is? The name of a person, animal, place, or thing. I know what a pronoun is. A word you use instead of a noun. If I don't want to say Mary is a girl, I can say she is a girl. So Mary is noun, she is pronoun. So the first noun or pronoun in a sentence is what we refer to as the subject. Now look at this first example that we have. Mary sweeps the room every day. You can see Mary here in bold. It is in bold to show you that this is the first noun in this sentence. Mary sweeps the room every day. Now, Mary is a noun, but room too is also a noun. Now, this room is the second noun. Our focus is not on this room right now. Now, our focus is on the first noun. And that first noun is our subject. When if we have lots of subjects, lots of nouns in a sentence, is the first one that is the subject. This second noun that we have here is not the subject, even though it is also a noun. The first one is the subject. Now, in active voice, the first noun is the subject, and it is that subject that is performing the action. The first noun performs the action, is the one doing the action. That is what active voice is. That first noun is doing the action in the sentence. Look at the example. Mary sweeps the room every day. Now, the subject Mary sweeps the room. The sentence is about Mary. The sentence is about Mary. Our focus is on Mary. That's what active voice is. The subject, the first noun, is the doer of the action. Is that taken? First noun is the one performing the action. Okay. Look at this sentence that we have here now. Active sentence. A homeless man won the lottery. Look at this one. A homeless man. This one is not just even a word. We have a phrase here. A homeless man. It could be Shegun won the lottery. Now we have a homeless man. Not just one word, but a phrase. A homeless man won the lottery. You can see the homeless man here is the subject. Look at it. It is circled. You can see it there. The homeless man won. The subject performs the action. The subject is the doer of the action. A homeless man won the lottery. Now, we have seen what active is. The subject is the performer, is the one doing the action. Now, let's move forward. Our next voice we are considering is passive voice. Passive voice. What is the meaning of passive? Passive. Passive. Passive means cannot really do anything. It's just there, receiving the action. Let's see what passive voice means. Passive voice means the subject, look at this now, the subject is the receiver of the action. We have an action, we have the subject, that is the noun or the pronoun, then we have the receiver. Now, let me explain this to you. In active, Mary was the one sweeping the room. Mary sweeps the room. Now, look at this passive example. The room is swept by Mary. The room is swept by Mary. Now, it is not the room sweeps Mary. The room is not sweeping, no. It is Mary who swept. But now, the Mary is not in front. It is the room that is being swept that is now the first noun in this sentence. Now, that's what passive means. This first noun, room, is not the one doing the action. I hope you are getting that. This first noun here is the one receiving the action. See, the room is swept by Mary. Or somebody might say, oh, the food has been eaten by the boy. You see, the food has been eaten. I'm just giving you that example. Has been eaten. It's not the food that is eating the boy, but the food that has been eaten. It is the food that has received the action. Now look at this sentence. The sentence is about the room, but the room cannot do anything as Mary swept it. So that's what we mean by passive. It also means helpless. It also means inactive. It cannot do anything. It's just receiving the action, even though it is the first noun. So how do you know passive or active voice? If it is the subject, the first noun that is doing it, active. If it is the first noun that is receiving the action, then that one is passive. I hope that is understood. Let's look at this example. Look at this active voice. He will write a letter. He will write. Will write is the verb. It is he that will write. So the subject here, which is a pronoun, you see this one is not a noun. It is a pronoun. I can say John will write a letter. If it is John, that is a noun. But now it is he. Now this he is the subject, whether noun or pronoun. The first noun or pronoun is the subject. He will write a letter. But when it comes to passive, see this letter now, the second noun will now be the first noun and it will still receive the action. A letter will be written. Here he has not written. He will write. That's a future tense. He will write a letter. Now, a letter will be written by, don't say a letter was written. You can see the statement. He will write, future. A letter will be written by him. So as much as you are taking note of your subject, and then you're also taking note of the object, which is the other noun, you must also be careful of the tenses you use. That is the verb. Now listen to this. Whether active or passive, the present simple tense is often used to show what always or generally happens. So we often use it with words or phrases like often, sometimes, every day, etc. You are going to see more examples of what I've just read now. Look at this table that we have here. Now, look at this first sentence that we have here. See, active. I write a letter. I is the person. It is a pronoun, but it is the subject. I write a letter. That is it is I that is doing the thing. I write. That is active voice. Look at the passive. Look at the passive voice of that first sentence. A letter is written by me. A letter. Now, the letter here is the object in that active, but when it comes to passive, it has become the subject. A letter is written by me. Now, look at the way these words are, these sentences are written. Take note of the tenses. Look at the first one. Present simple. I write a letter. That one is present tense. Right. You know present tense and past tense. Present, what is happening now? Then past tense, what has happened before. Though the present, we have different types of present and we have different types of past. Look at this present simple. I write a letter. If it is going to be passive, you know you are going to start from this object. A letter is written, by me. I write. A letter is written by me. So that's what we have here. A letter is written. The by me is not there. Now look at this one. Present continuous. It is present and you are still doing it. It is still continuous. I am writing. Look at I am writing a letter. So if it is right that is there, is written. I am writing. A letter is being written by me. I am writing. So take note of the verse. I am writing. A letter is being written. Look at the past simple. I wrote a letter. You know you have to change it from the object to the subject side for the passive. A letter was written. I wrote. Yesterday I wrote a letter. Oh yes, a letter was written by me yesterday. Look at this one. I was writing. That is past continuous. You can say it past continuous. I was writing. Oh, when it came yesterday, I was writing. That thing happened yesterday. When the event happened, you are reporting an event that happened yesterday or previously. I was writing a letter. Look at this. A letter was being written. Look at this one. I am writing. This second one. I am writing. A letter is being written. Past tense. I was writing. That's past continuous. A letter was being written. Present perfect. I have written a letter. Look at this. A letter has been written. Past perfect. I had written a letter. A letter had been written by me. So you can see that the active and the passive must correlate. That is, they must agree. You cannot go and be using present simple for a present continuous active voice. It has to be the same. Look at this one. I will write a letter. A letter will be written by me. See the next one, future. But this time around, this I will is also future, what you will do. But this future is using going to. We use going to also indicate future. I am going to write. A letter is going to be written by me. I must write a letter. This when we use modals like must, should, can. See, I must write a letter. A letter must be written by me. If somebody says, I should write a letter, then a letter should be written. It is the modal you are giving that you are going to use to get your passive. If you are giving, I can write a letter, then the passive will be what? A letter can be written. So the modal you are given is the same modal you will use to get your passive. And look at this, the modal perfect. I should have written a letter. A letter should have been written by me. So take note of that. You can pause this screen, write down all these things so that you can refer to them, especially when you have to do your classwork, so that you don't mix up the tenses as you change from active to passive. We've mentioned it. I've mentioned it that active, the subject is doing it. In passive, the subject is receiving. That first noun or pronoun is the receiver of the action. Now we have more examples. Look at this. Mosquitoes cause malaria. Mosquito here is the one causing. Mosquito is the noun, it is causing. That's active. Look at the passive. Now we are bringing malaria first. In passive, the last noun, the object, is the one that will come forward. Malaria is caused by mosquitoes. You can see before mosquito caused. Now malaria is caused by mosquitoes. Another example here, the cat killed the rat. The cat killed the rat. The cat here is the subject, but by the time we come to passive, the cat is now the object. It has gone to the back. It is now the other noun. The cat killed the rat. This is active. It is the cat that is killing. But yeah, the rat has been killed. The rat has been killed. You see, it's the rat that has been killed, even though the rat is the first one. That's passive. Another example, we have Dupe carried the ball. That's active. And then the passive will be what? Yes, the ball was carried by Dupe. You can see it here. The ball was carried by Dupe. Okay, the next example that we have here, the teacher teaches the pupils. The teacher teaches the pupils. The passive, you see, the pupils are taught by the teacher. Okay, another example that we have here, Prince Adedayo owns this house. Okay, now the passive will be what? This house is owned by Prince Adedayo. Okay, now we've learned a lot about active voice or active sentence, and then passive voice or passive sentence. When you say it, that's when we refer to it as active voice or passive voice. And when it is written down, that's when we refer to it as active sentence or passive sentence. An active sentence means the subject, that is the first noun, is the doer of the action or the performer of the action. While passive sentence means the subject is the receiver. And passive, the subject receives. The subject is the receiver of the action. In active, the subject is the doer of the action. So, in order to test what you've learned so far, you have to attempt these questions. Change these active sentences into corresponding passive ones. That is, they are correct passive sentences. Look at this first one. Our mother cooks all the food. 2. Many people visit the museum. 3. The headmistress herself signs the letters. 4. A chauffeur drives her everywhere. Sorry, this shouldn't be here. It is chauffeur. The he should not be there. A chauffeur drives her everywhere. Then number 5, the government pays our fees. The government pays our fees. So you have to change them into their corresponding passive voices. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.